Hey guys, Tim and Adam here, and we want to welcome you back to Flipperflix. You guys know how much Tim loves his foods, and he got to try a new one recently called 3 Wishes.
Yup. Breakfast being my favorite meal, I was excited to try this new cereal out. It's high in protein, low in sugar, and grain-free.
I thought I saw that 3 Wishes is free from wheat, dairy, soy, oats, corn, rice, and peanuts.
That's right. It's plant-based and gluten-free certified, made with modern-day clean ingredients like chickpeas, pea protein, and tapioca.
Well, that sounds like a feat of food science.
One that took 2 years to develop.
Incredible! So what flavor of these 3 Wishes did you devour, Tim? I saw they had cocoa, cinnamon, honey, and unsweetened.
I went with cocoa, and it was delicious.
With 70% less sugar and as much as 8 times the protein of their decadent counterparts, there can't be anything like this on the shelf right now.
And there isn't. 3 Wishes is now offering our listeners 10% off with the code PODCAST10.
So head to their website at www.3wishescereal.com to learn more.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
I've abandoned Diana! We are Flipperflix! Come listen to us!
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else, so I just kept going with that.
All right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so Sam, I'm Adam. Tim's over there, north of us.
I'm Sam.
Wait, what's your name?
Sam.
And who are we?
We're Flipperflix. Every time we have to do
I
this.
gotta make sure.
But ever since we watched There Will Be Blood like a month or so ago, Adam just runs around the house being like, I've abandoned my child!
I've abandoned my son!
I'm not shocked at all that you found a way to intro with that.
No, you see, you have a milkshake, and I have a milkshake. And I'm done. I don't feel like...
I was like, are you sure we're not, like, do you just want to do There Will Be Blood 2.0 when we haven't watched it recently? Because I feel like that would be difficult. But anywho, we're Flipperflix. We're a movie review podcast, and as you can tell, we're super unprofessional.
I'm working on my voiceovers, you know?
What?
No.
And we release episodes every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, all of the normal podcasting platforms. And if we're not there, of course, you can request it and we'll give it a shot. Mm-hmm. We also are on social media. We have a Twitter and an Instagram. We're at Flipperflix. Keep it real simple for you guys. And we have a website where you can request movies for us. It is www.flipperflix.wixsite.com/home. I was super insecure about saying that.
It didn't show at all.
She wrote all this down this time.
I did. I took a note from Tim, and I was like, I'm just going to write it down.
Yeah, typically, I just do it off my memories.
I mean, so do I, but then I get distracted, so I'm glad that I wrote it down.
There you go. Solid choice.
So I think, Tim, it's on to you. You can talk about the...
Shoot. Yeah, okay. I guess because I picked it. I don't even know. What was the category, Adam?
Thanks, I hate it.
No, but what was the category?
I'm not repeating it.
Okay. I didn't. Yeah, I'm Tim, and we watched Lights Out on Hulu. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but that's where we watched it.
I don't think so right now. I think it's just Hulu.
Yeah, so it was basically a film that was to be expected to be
that
hated.
We would not enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really good with phrasing and sentences. Yeah, we would not enjoy it. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. I just picked this one. It was a struggle to pick a movie. Even though I feel like it shouldn't have been, but it was.
I kept pushing for you to choose a musical because, like, I just feel like...
Yeah, I didn't want to watch a musical.
True musical. I was like, a true musical, not like Earth Girls Are Easy where they have 2 songs.
But anyway, the synopsis for this one, it's a horror thriller from 2016. It's an hour and 21 minutes long, and it's a young woman and her stepbrother are terrorized by a malevolent spirit that only appears when the lights go out. That's very interesting because...
And it's wrong.
Yeah.
Too. It's his half-brother. It's her half-brother.
Right,
They have the same mom.
They have the same mom, yeah.
Is that not the same thing?
No. Step is by marriage.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I should know that.
Also,
that was like...
in horror movies, when does things happen, like, in light or daytime anyway?
Yeah, true.
So that
Jot that
confused
down,
me.
horror writers.
Yeah.
Do one about the sun.
I guess just on the basis of that right there, you're like, good idea? Question mark? Different idea? Original idea? I don't even know. Because usually, I guess they feel safe during the day now, when in other movies there is no daytime.
Yeah.
Because it's
But
a
you
horror
can be
movie.
during the day.
So I guess that's kind of my expectations. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really. I mean, I picked it a little selfishly because I was like, yeah, I might like it. But
Tim wanted
but
a
I'm supposed to
horror.
hate it. And yeah, I was in the mood for a horror, so something I hadn't seen. Concept seemed interesting. I was like, why not? Let's get after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's me, who's like, I don't want to watch a horror. I just don't find as much joy in them, I guess.
They're literally not meant to bring you joy, but okay.
Some people are adrenaline junkies
No,
and they like getting scared.
Yeah.
Like,
I find horrors to be, like, for the most part, I've probably said this before, to just be a different form of comedy, usually. Because it's very
Okay.
hard, in my opinion, for a horror movie to actually scare you. Like, when I was a kid, sure, I loved it. And there are definitely ones that, like, get your heart racing. Like, I remember when Paranormal Activity came out. God, that was great. But those are
did
rare.
nothing to me.
Yeah, those are rare, and, like, you try to put yourself in the moment, and you're like, oh, it's crazy. But for the most part, I find horrors to just be a different form of comedy.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, Sam, how do you feel about horrors? Are they a different form of comedy for you, or do you need to sleep with the lights on?
It depends on the horror movie, if it's actually succeeded in scaring me, which is not that hard because I'm a scaredy cat.
You are.
I will sleep with the lights on. Yes.
She's not afraid to.
But there are some where, like, you turn them on and you're just like, oh, really? This is where you went with this? So I can see it, but I will say that I'm easily scared, and so... But it doesn't bother me that I'm easily scared. It probably more bothers you because we have to sleep with the lights on.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll still, like, be willing to sit down and watch it, and then I'll be like, shit, okay, now I'm scared to go to bed.
I also have that coming from my angle. It's like, I don't seek them out because then I'm going to have to sleep with the lights on. Not for myself.
It's really not a big deal to sleep
It's
with
not.
the lights on.
I'll sleep with the lights on any day.
But
It's just
did
the
you
electric bill.
Yeah, that's true. Did you finish your expectations?
Oh, my expectations. I expected people to turn off light switches at one point. Or on, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expected light to be involved. I didn't look up anything on this before we watched the trailer, before we watched the movie. Like, we watched the trailer, and then we sat down and watched the movie, like, within 5 minutes of each other.
Really? I thought we watched it last night.
No, we watched it today.
Oh, okay.
Then we napped. So,
It
5
felt
minutes
like-
of being
it
awake.
felt like the next day.
Right. Yeah, so, like, I don't know. I was expecting Tim to pick a scary movie, but I didn't know if... I thought it was going to be, like, an indie horror that was just, like a B horror film.
Mm-hmm.
So, then I saw Warner Brothers, and I was like, oh, that's not B. That's, like, big production.
It's like W.
B.
I get it.
I know, right? That was a pretty good one. But Sam, what were your expectations?
Wow, I never get kudos for my jokes. I feel so special.
You're welcome. Do you need to pat yourself on the back?
Yeah, I kind of did for a little bit. Let's see. My expectations. I was like, great, it's a horror movie. And then I read it and I was like, great. Whenever there's like a spirit involved, it's like, or like something like that, I'm like, great, now I'm going to have to keep the lights on all day. And I specifically requested to Adam, can we watch this during the daylight hours?
Oh, yeah.
I was like...
Then we napped for too long.
Yeah, and then it was like getting dark as we were starting it. But anywho.
That's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of said, I can enjoy horror films sometimes, but I kind of thought this was like a bogus concept. I was like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just like, have the lights on at all times, or like, have a flashlight with you or something like that. So I was interested to see how they kind of explained it, because I was like, to me, like, this doesn't seem like that hard of a
Thing to defeat.
situation. Yeah. Because, like, when you think about some of the other classic horrors, like, what is it, Freddy Krueger, you can't go to sleep. Like, that's a lot harder than not having
Such
light.
a great concept.
And I was also interested to see how they tackled, like, the daytime, because I was like, I mean, there are shadows in the daytime, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or does she just sleep? So I was intrigued.
Okay. Well, spoilers, we're probably going to go deep into this ridiculousness.
Now we're just going to top level it.
We're just going to top it? Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I'm going to go ahead and start with
Okay.
Billy Burke.
Yeah.
The dad.
Twilight man.
Mr. Twilight. I saw him and I was like, I cannot look at you without that mustache. Like, all I see is Twilight.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, Billy Burke with flow is weird to me.
I was gonna say, yeah, he has like the long hair and stuff. I was like,
Like, well, then they show that picture of like his family, and I'm like, that girl looks way too young for you, bud. And then you find out it was his stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's better now. We're good. We're all clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he was pretty smart from the get go.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
He figured it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's just like, lights. Okay, she doesn't like lights. Let me go to the light room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you compare that to Esther, who's a fucking idiot. And sits there and turns the lights on and off for like 10 minutes. I'm like,
Lights on. Lights
Yeah,
off.
just constantly like, what's going on?
Lights on.
Like,
Lights off.
yeah, it's like, man, come on. You couldn't figure that out just a little bit sooner. And I don't know if it was maybe just like to set the stage of like, I don't know, for us as the audience.
yeah,
like,
maybe.
we gotta like really drive it home. But I was like, this is too far. Like,
I like how they used the jump scare from the first 3 minutes of the movie in the trailer.
yes.
I didn't watch the trailer.
I know. But yeah, they used that jump scare. Like that whole lights flickering on and off scene. That was in the trailer.
Yeah, they pretty much put like the first 10 minutes of the movie in the trailer, I feel like. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
You first see the lady, Diana. We're going to just go ahead and out her name.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought of, Tim, I'll see if you agree with me. Did she look like the witch from Left 4 Dead?
Which from Left 4 Dead? Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, because like the little witches.
The Shrieker witches or whatever they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
she
like
did.
all bundled up in darkness. They're always in darkness.
Mm.
And if you put a light on them, they freak out and claw
Yeah,
your
they
face open.
scream and yeah. I also found it funny that she could like affect the lights. Like
Yeah, I
that
know.
seemed like cheating to me. That seemed like a cop out. I
agree.
don't know.
Those are hacks.
It's like, oh no, she just turned out all your light source. Great. Like,
Yeah.
come on now.
Oh, hey, I can break light bulbs. Lols.
Yeah. I was pissed about that. I felt
Yeah.
like that was definitely too over the top. And I mean, that kind of like ruins the whole premise of the movie.
Right.
She could have just like broken everything all the time, which
I
she
know.
kind of did for a while.
She did. If she could, she did.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is shit.
Derivative.
Give me my money back. Oh, wait.
Hulu. I don't know. Like, we find out, like, the daughter left because of her. Because Diana was like, here, let me live with your mom instead of you. Well, instead of your dad.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, peace, bitches.
I mean, it was also obvious that her dad didn't leave, right? Like, after
No. I
Twilight
definitely
got
thought he
killed.
left.
Yeah.
I thought he left.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you?
I'm confused.
Okay. First husband,
Yes.
father of Rebecca,
Yes.
was murdered.
Yes.
You got that, right?
That was Billy Burke, right?
No.
No.
There was another murder.
There was that second. Billy Burke's second husband.
Okay, there were 2 murders by Diana of the husbands.
Yeah,
Okay.
did you not get that? Like, she kept asking, like, oh, why did dad leave? Why did dad
Yeah.
leave?
I was very confused by the whole family dynamic in this movie, and I don't know if it's because I woke up from a nap or if it was just because, like, it wasn't abundantly clear. But it sounds like it was clear, and I was just being dumb.
I didn't catch that, like, he was murdered. I thought he actually left because he was like, bitch, you cray.
No, I
Yeah.
figured from the beginning she was dead.
offered.
I figured, yeah,
Yeah.
from the beginning that was my assumption.
Nice. Tim's watched more horror films.
He has, so give us a little break here, guys. They also had, like, a picture, like, she had, like, a comic book version of Diana
Yeah.
on the wall. And I was like, what?
I
Yeah,
think
that
she's
was
a tattoo
interesting.
artist.
Oh.
Or
that's what it
she
was?
at least lived above a tattoo shop?
She lived above a tattoo shop, but I don't know if she was the artist.
I don't know. I just kind of figured, like, okay, you want to put a picture of Diana up, which is fucking creepy.
I don't think it was Diana. I think it was a comic book character because there was a lot of
Sometimes,
DC.
yeah.
There was a lot of DC stuff, which makes sense because doesn't Warner Brothers do the DC movies?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. There's a Justice League poster. Superman was throughout
Yeah.
it. Tim. Tim, shout out to you. You were in the film.
Well, I guess I just found it odd that, like, this thing that scared you half to death as a child, even if you found a likeness in another character, why would you put that poster up?
Right. Why would it be there?
So I just assumed it was, like, that's why I just kind of was like, oh, she's a tattoo artist, and so it's, like, I don't know, something for, but that's probably not accurate.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
We don't know what she did. They never told us.
And it would be a little rare for a tattoo artist not to have tattoos, because like one of their best platforms for practicing is themselves.
So.
Yeah, or at least like what her boyfriend Brett should have them.
He had some.
Oh, well, maybe he's the tattoo.
Maybe like they ran into each other, and Brett's like, "Can I just leave a sock here?" And she's like. And he's like, socks are not anchors. And I was like, socks aren't anchors.
Socks could be an anchor.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you like stuffed them with rocks and tied them on a rope.
We're getting very literal.
I want to say I liked Brett a lot. At first I was like, this fucker's dying here. And then he didn't die.
Oh yeah, I was expecting him to.
Then I'm like, this guy's going to die here. Now he's doomed. Then he didn't die. Then I'm like, okay, he's going to die now.
See,
he didn't die.
I didn't expect him to die. I don't know why. I just didn't.
He seemed like a dude that would die, though. Like, he just seems like the
Maybe
extra...
that's why I didn't expect him to die, because he
Tim was
seemed
just
like he
guessing
would.
ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I feel like it usually goes like he dies right away, or at a certain point, once they live, it's like, okay, they're here. But
yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I just expected... I thought there would be more death. We really just killed,
started
Billy
to tally.
Burke?
Yeah.
And
2
then,
people
like,
died.
the
Well,
cop?
4 people died, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that
5,
is a lot
6.
of death. But, like, in terms of
Technically
main
6.
characters, usually there's more death than main characters.
That being
Right?
said, there were only like 4 main characters. You can't off them all.
Yes,
Gotta
you can.
off them all. Horror movies.
You absolutely can,
But yeah, like I didn't expect Brett to make much sense. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I judged a book by its cover. I know. I made my first judgment of him being like just that like shady boyfriend dude. Cause she's like, man, can't I just like stay? I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna be like the dirtball boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, oh no, like I want to stay for you, and he was like super supportive.
Yeah, he was surprisingly a good boyfriend.
I know.
Well, I would say too that like my first impressions of it was just showing her lifestyle, and then he wasn't going to show up again.
Yeah.
Like it just he wasn't
same.
going to be in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I expected him to be that one scene and be like, bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he wasn't.
Right.
He's a good character.
Right. Yeah, and then he rolls up with her in a minivan to pick up her brother.
Yeah.
Which, who the fuck's minivan is that? Because it's not the same car they have later in the movie.
No, it's not. He drives like a Volvo later. Wait.
Yeah.
He
drives a crossover.
Yeah.
He drives a crossover.
So wait,
Like-
whose car was that?
Yeah, that's what I was
Wait a
confused
second,
about.
I didn't think about that.
Well, it didn't bother me. It just confused me why they had a minivan. Because I was like, huh, 2 like 20-somethings have a minivan.
Yeah, and it was confusing because it seemed like she didn't drive.
He drove always.
He drove always, and she called him to have him pick her up later in the film. So I was like, why doesn't she drive?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a very interesting situation. Because if she drove, you'd be like, oh, it was her minivan, right?
Yeah. You could do the logical progression and be like, okay, that's the girl's minivan, not his.
Yeah, which would still be odd, but not that odd.
Yeah.
But I loved when they rolled up to the high school. The kid is not in high school.
Grade
the
school.
Yeah. And the kid goes...
He's a super genius.
Yeah. The kid goes, hey, you showed up. I didn't think you would. I was like, damn! That's like the first thing he says to her. How brutal is that?
It seems like she hadn't been around for like a long time.
Yeah, but that's fucking brutal.
It is.
Yeah.
That's like Sam level brutal.
Yeah, like, no, like, hey, it's been a while. I don't know. There was no, like, transition into, I had no faith in you. It was just straight up punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Faith in you. Which was a little rough. Poor Rebecca.
Yeah, and then they take him back to, she takes him back to her place, right?
Well, back to the house, and they have a spat, and then eventually they get to her place,
Yeah, and he's already, like, packing, ready to go.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I know. Yep, I'm ready. And I'm like,
Pack your
Nice.
things.
I mean, imagine being that kid and seeing your mom talk to shit like this. Like, what?
Oh,
Yeah,
right?
I'd be like, get me out of here. Like,
Yeah.
like, what is happening?
I can't put my mind in the little 10, 12-year-old Adam and be like, huh, what would I do? Because that's absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good scene when he goes in there and she's like, which it was in the trailer, so it got ruined for us, but where she was like, oh, did we wake you? And he's like, what the fuck? Because, like...
Yeah, did we? And he's like,
Yeah, Mom's friend
What?
Diana's over.
Yeah.
Did you say Diana? Yeah.
All right, we're leaving. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. But they, like, then Diana appears in her apartment,
yeah,
ruining hardwood
that's a little
floors.
fucky.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Like, bitch can teleport.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I
then
got.
it also doesn't... I don't know. I guess it just doesn't... That part didn't make sense to me. Again, we're kind of giving Diana, like, overpoweredness that she can, like, follow people wherever they go.
Well, and she exists. You would assume she would exist only in a radius around the mom.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, she's got no rules. I don't know.
Which is
Got no
bullshit.
rules. Got no
Well,
rules.
I also just like in general when she's, because they go over a little after and she starts digging around, and I was wondering how they had all those files on her and stuff, and apparently it was because the dad was doing that already. But like,
Yeah.
I had a problem with her going to the psychiatric place, and then they were trying an experimental thing on her, and it was literally just
poof.
hurting her because she has a skin condition, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, let's see how bad it is. Let's give her extra, like, you're literally just hurting her at that point just to hurt her.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't no, I don't know. That was just a little shitty to me. But I guess they had to make her explode for some reason and turn into ashes on a chair.
Yeah.
I feel like she could have died in a different way at the hospital. You know, like you're saying,
Yeah.
it's just really, like, that's totally
Well,
not believable. That
There
that
would have
happened.
been way more ashes too. Let's be real, guys.
Yeah, well, not only that, but, like, why is she stuck to the mom just because she made her friends and she got into her head? I don't know.
Yeah, she just lives in her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the element, like the horror element, I guess. It's like it's a psychological thing, like that's being, what is it? I'm forgetting the word. I don't know. Sent from the mom's mind out into the world.
Projection.
Yeah, astral projection.
Yeah.
And she's just projecting this demon lady around to murder him. They originally were gonna go more demonic with her.
Ugh, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
With who?
It
The
all-
mom or
With Diana. And then the actress is the Diana actress. I'm gonna spoil myself a little bit. She's a stunt double
Oh.
in a lot of other big movies, and I'll get to that later. But she was a dancer and I want to say she can contort her body because the quote on IMDb literally just says has full control of her body. So they were like, yes, we're gonna use you full time, and you do your weird body shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Well, there is like a certain dance.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, but it's basically like contortionism. So that makes sense. But now that you say that, I don't think she like contorted that much. She didn't at the beginning.
She did a couple times.
Yeah. But knowing that that's like her specialty, you would think she would have.
They
done
would
a
have played
little
into
bit
it
more.
way
yeah,
more.
some
Yeah.
more stuff there.
But to touch back on the files and shit, that to me just felt like the standard bullshit horror stuff. Like, oh, we need to explain a backstory. Here, let's find a bunch of fucking files in an office and let's play back the damn mental hospital. Like, it just very, like, it felt like The Ring, you know?
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
scene
yeah.
for
Yeah.
scene. And I was just like, why can't we do something different?
I actually got a lot of Ring vibes from this.
Yeah.
But I liked it because I wanted a backstory on it.
No, I agree.
I wanted an
just,
explanation.
I just
It was
hate
very
how they
forced.
always, yeah.
Okay.
I hate how
I can
they
agree with
always do
that.
it the same way. But I do agree. There should have been some more.
It needs to be explained somehow.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do it in the first 5 minutes of like these horror thrillers. They're like, here's the backstory from 30 years ago, and then 30 years later, and it shows like the family.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do it like that. That's the other forced method, I think.
Yeah.
Super professional, horror film people here, guys.
And I guess they didn't want to, like...
Us.
I was going to say... I know. I was going to say that I feel like they could have used the mom as a way to, like, tell the backstory, but then
That's
you
true.
kind of spoil the fact that it's, like, all basically the mom.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to save that, I could see it.
I will ask you guys, what do you think of the name Mulberry Hill? That just sounds like a psych ward.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a street name.
Yeah, it just sounds like a sure. Yeah.
That sounds good enough.
We're good with that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought it was funny. I don't know why. But, shoot. Oh, I have a time mark here.
Mm-hmm.
This was like after the hardwood floor scene and they go back to the mom's place. How have they not learned to just turn on all the lights?
Yeah, it takes them a very long time to figure out we need to light the entire house at all times.
Yeah. That was one of the times I thought Brett was going down.
Yeah, and like, Brett's the only one that figures out that, oh, the fucking mobile phone that you always have on you can also be a light. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I just was like, maybe I give people too much credit, but I would expect that you would have fucking figured this out a lot earlier. And like the whole candle thing and all that.
That's
But
the
I
whole horror, like, ignorance thing, right? Like, that always
Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
in horror movies conveniently. Like, people forget to do the simplest things and they make the stupidest decisions that you're just like, really? Really? And
Well,
this
there
movie
was
suffered
the-
from that.
Yeah.
The whole basement part, Sam's like, I swear to God, if there's no breaker box down there, I'm a riot.
Yeah, well, because I feel like they always end up in, like, the attic or the basement
Yeah.
or some random room in the house. And I was like, if she goes down for the breaker box, fine, we'll allow it. But
Yeah.
there's no other reason she needs to fucking go in the basement other than it's a horror movie and they want her in the basement.
Right.
Yeah. But they
But
did. She did
she
go to a
did.
breaker box.
Yes.
And I was like,
so I was like,
cool.
applause.
And it didn't
But
work
the-
because somehow
Yeah.
this creature was able to stop people. I don't know.
The
What, I
entire
don't know what the
power
fuck she
grid.
did. She go outside and snip the power somehow? Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
well, like, Brett looked up and, like, the street lights were off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
She, like, knocked out the entire power grid.
Well,
Yeah.
I
How
don't
the
know
fuck you do
because like that could have been their street light, but then you are assuming that it was just convenient and the whole area got knocked out somehow and it wasn't actually her, but I don't believe
Oh,
that.
it's
I don't
totally
buy that.
her.
Yeah, it was definitely her. I don't buy that randomly all the lights went out.
Right?
Yeah. Especially when she could just break them anyway.
Right.
She can't do all this shit. What the hell?
But flashlights, she couldn't break flashlights.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sitting here like, just hold the flashlight, like the big beam blue light that she had.
The black light.
The-
Yeah.
oh, was it a black light? I don't know why I was like, blue light. Just hold that over your head to illuminate the area. That way you have full 360 around
Yeah.
you.
I think it's just that, like Tim was saying, it's the typical horror movie. Like, they don't use their brains, but I was really frustrated that they weren't, like, I don't know, somehow lighting around themselves. They were always conveniently a dark spot behind
Right,
them,
yeah.
or in front of
It's like
them.
like what you were saying with his phone. He was like holding it forward, backing up into the darkness. I'm like, come on, seriously? Like,
I know. I will say though, I liked that she Diana grabs the kid. She grabs Martin's feet and just starts pulling him under the bed.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah, because like Sam was saying, I don't know how they're gonna handle the daylight. Well, I mean, there's shadows everywhere. Like
Right.
you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was glad that she was in the daylight because I thought it was going to be a total cop out if, like, I don't know, just magically in the day she doesn't come out.
All right.
Dude, and then she's like knocking on the door in her closet
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the middle of the day. Were you freaked out by that?
I was pissed off. So I was pissed off because she's knocking on the closet, but at the time, you don't know it's the closet. She opens the front door,
Yeah.
and it's a hallway of lights, and I'm like, bullshit! She's out there. I was like, this is an apartment complex with a bunch of lights. There's no way those lights went off.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this shit. And then Adam's like, no, it's the closet. I'm like, okay, fine.
And then it was the closet.
Yeah, but...
And then she turns the light on, opens the door, and a piece of paper is just falling.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And like every time they turned a light on and somebody fell, I laughed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That was pretty great.
Like she's like swinging Brett around, and he like turns on his car, which again, Brett. I was calling him Brett the Brain.
Yeah, he had the biggest brain in the movie.
Yes,
He was big brained. He turned on his car and he just drops.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there were some good horror scenes though. Like you said, like the piece of paper and the whole like she was a kid and the drawing gets fucked and then she ruins the hardwood floor. Like I think there was some good stuff interspersed with the ridiculousness.
Yeah. Yeah, and what'd you guys I meant to ask this earlier. What'd you think of all the mannequins in that mannequin shot, like in his warehouse?
It was creepy.
That
was weird.
I didn't understand why they were there, but they were creepy.
I wonder if they brought them in because they wanted mannequins in the basement.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
they
like,
tied that in with that, and like she was making herself back, like I don't know, but
Yeah. We say that, right? And then you find out that the owner of the house,
Mm-hmm.
those were his mannequins that he already had in his basement.
right. So then, like, what?
Like,
In
yeah,
real life?
in real life, those were his mannequins. The actual owner of the home.
Ew. I hate this. That's scarier than this whole movie.
I know.
That a real person would have.
Yeah, that's
those
kind
in
of
their
strange.
basement.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
So they're like,
little-
okay, we're gonna use it. But like, I thought they tied it in well because like, why the fuck would somebody have mannequins if they didn't like work in like fashion
Yeah.
or maybe a mannequin manufacturing? Somebody's got to make them.
Yeah.
And he was in a warehouse, so I assumed he was manufacturing them.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of clothes to the side too, so it could have been like a fashion warehouse.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. It was odd,
It was.
and I don't know. It wasn't.
And Brett
necessarily
picked a
good.
bad night for his first sleepover with Rebecca. He's been trying to stay the night with her all this time. 8 months. First night, almost murdered.
I'd say he
Yeah.
proved himself here. Yeah.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
She can't. She's not allowed to leave him.
Yeah.
But
It's craziness. One of the things that I found interesting for the sleepover, or I guess it was pre-sleepover, they've all come over and they're deciding that they're sleeping over. They're talking about how they found, like, Rebecca found the research and she found the obituary, and the mom goes, "Those things can be faked. This sounds crazy." I'm like, "Bitch, you sound crazy."
Yeah,
like,
you
who fakes an
crazy.
obituary?
Yeah. What?
Like, that's-
No, she's real. She's not. Oh, okay, crazy lady.
Yeah.
it's a crazy lady that wants your son to talk to a lady that can only be around in the dark.
Yeah,
Right.
I hated that too, the like movie night day scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And she like turns off all the light and it's like, it's fine. Like, fucking crazy lady.
I don't like that Diana could talk.
I agree. I was gonna ask you guys that.
I did not enjoy that. That
Really?
was, in my opinion, it kind of broke her.
I thought so too.
Tim?
Didn't bother me.
Didn't bother you? Okay.
I was just thinking she might have been scarier if she didn't
Didn't say anything.
talk. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And she only like communicated with like scratching shit in hardwood.
And
Or like
drawings
on
and
pieces
stuff.
of paper.
And drawings.
Yeah, I think that would have been creepier. Just to me personally, because sometimes she did her like shriek and I kind of like,
Shrieks I'm okay with.
I don't
Yeah.
know, that kind of took me out too. I was like, she just seems over the top. And maybe at this point I was hating her because of her whole overpoweredness. But I was like, I just feel like she would have been better if she was more like quieter and they took the music up to intensify it. But
Yeah. I was curious how she would handle moonlight.
yeah, because the mom's room has like a full-on moonlight through
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah.
It's like like if they had like done something crazy and like planned this on a new moon,
Oh,
that would have been real cool. Because like there's no extra light. It's dark as fuck.
crazy.
I know.
Well, but I wonder if moonlight is the similar as like the black light. Like I guess there's a certain
It just
kind-
illuminates her.
Yeah, a certain kind of light that doesn't hurt her, which
Yeah.
I also don't quite understand.
That I didn't get.
Yeah.
And then I didn't like. They basically used that to show what she looked like. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the director did his best to never show. Like he didn't want to show her at first,
I agree with that, yeah.
but he was like, it was impossible to like show that she was getting damaged from light.
Okay.
So that's the only.
But we
reason he
kind of
did
like
that.
already understood that.
Yeah.
Right. And I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I can kind of see a need for it, but I agree. Like, once they showed her, she just looked like, I don't know, your typical dead corpse situation.
I know.
And
Wow,
she was
like,
Yeah,
really
I
burned
was
up.
as a
disappointed
shadow.
with her. Yeah.
She had some radiation damage.
Yeah.
Did you guys like the ending where she just pops herself?
I mean, I didn't see how else it was gonna end.
Right.
Yeah.
Personally.
I don't know. I thought like at some point Diana was gonna either take over someone or like take over the mom. The mom was gonna have to fight with her to like, and then eventually die, and then they both die. You know what I mean? Like get rid of her. But I didn't. I actually thought that was pretty good. How she was just like, "Yep," and then she's like saving you, and then killed herself. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's different. I like that." And
There
then
was
Diana
like no
just,
hesitation.
yeah, it was just
I
like,
know.
all right.
And then like Diana leaping at her, I was like,
Yeah.
nice. Like clearly she's aware that she's going to go away.
Yeah.
Well, Sam thought she possessed the cop.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it kind of seemed like that.
Yeah, like I was about to riot again when like the cop had died and she had like stood him up, and like I thought he was gonna like come back to life somehow, and I was about to be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like this is some bullshit." So I'm glad they didn't do that, but the way that they did it, I mean, it was nice that it was like a trick, I guess. But
Gotta credit Brett the Brain again because he was like, "You need to bring flashlights. Bring flashlights in there."
yeah,
I was just like, nice. This guy.
he knows what's up.
I know. He caught on quick.
Yeah, I think he
Faster
had
than the other
to.
two. Spur of the moment, you know.
I guess the only other thing I had was that I was kind of expecting them to leave it for room with a sequel in some way, and I'm glad that they didn't.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know. I feel like that's another standard, like, horror thing. Like, oh, let's leave it for a sequel just in case. But, like...
Because horror movies, they decide to make 30 of them.
Yeah. And so I was like, it made sense that, like, she was with the mom, and the mom's dead now, so there's no reason we should have to have her come back. There's no logical reason.
Right.
But I was expecting them to leave it off for a sequel, and it didn't seem like they did, but now Adam's making faces at me. So
Okay.
I guess they
Yes. Yes.
Great. Is it going to
okay.
be called Lights On?
I don't know.
Ooh.
The sequel was greenlit after the first day this was in theaters.
Dude, seriously?
Dude, seriously, this movie made its money back for the budget in one day. So they're like, yes, sequel.
Oh my God.
Here's the weird part, though.
Interesting.
When they originally screened it to like select screening, like they do in Sunny, right?
Yeah.
To get feedback, they had a bunch of negative reviews because of the ending. The ending originally had Rebecca going back into the house,
Okay.
and she was still alive.
Oh, okay.
And
Like after the mom killed herself?
yeah, the
Okay.
only way I can think of her coming back is she got into Rebecca or Martin's mind.
She got
Yeah.
into somebody else's head, yeah. But
that's
she
the
didn't.
only
She
way.
wasn't able to. My other thought would be like she went into like she just used somebody else that she had manipulated back in the day.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. This was 5 years ago when they greenlit it, and I didn't see anything on the second one yet. I didn't look too hard, but I do know that it was greenlit very fast.
It's kind of crazy that it made that much money, to be personal.
Oh, you're gonna love the box office numbers.
But I was going to say, I do kind of feel like horror movies are meant to be in the theater.
They are.
Personally,
They are.
like,
Yeah, for sure.
They're way more scary for me when they're in the theater. So,
Because we kept the lights on.
well, yeah.
We lit up our apartment for this movie. House.
Yeah, but even if I had all the lights off in my house, it wouldn't be as scary as the theater that's dark as shit. And then you have shadows moving because people gotta go to the bathroom because they can't hold their piss. And then you're like, shit!
That's me, by the way.
So I don't know. I think like horror movies, and then with the music turned up and all that, like I didn't even notice if there was music in this.
It did a good job. In my opinion, if you don't notice the music, there's only, like, it did its job.
Yeah.
To spook you or, like, to bring correct emotions to the screen.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. I don't know
I
if you
don't
guys agree with that statement.
Well, I don't know. I don't agree, but that's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's an opinion.
But Tim, did you have stuff?
What?
Did you have anything else?
I was
I
like,
think that's what she meant.
stuff?
Did you have stuff?
You got stuff, man.
You got the goods?
I'm going through my notes, and sometimes I write stuff down, and I'm like, yeah, I'll remember that, and I definitely don't.
Adam and I always talk
But
about
this kind of goes with Diana moving on, and at one point I wrote down Diana is hereditary. And I think I wrote that down when she went to, because when they go to the apartment the first time, and she's like scratching on the floor, and I'm like, oh look, Diana's hereditary, and so she just follows like the children around.
Yeah.
That could be a way they kind of force the explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot of question marks, and I don't know what they're for.
Why would you hide your flashlight was one of my question marks.
Yeah.
Did they? Yeah. Like, what the hell, man?
Oh, yeah. She can't be in candlelight, but she can be lit up by black light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weird. I know.
I don't
get it.
understand, like, the fire and stuff. I don't understand why. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't think that candlelight is, like, enough light.
No,
You know?
absolutely not. Compared to what they were
Again.
doing when she was, like, still able to attack people, and then they have, like, a little
Yeah.
candlelight. Bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hold it over your head and you might be good.
Maybe.
Put it in your heart.
And then I always have a problem with horror movies, and this one I wrote
Sounds
down.
about right.
Horror movies end with the movie. So there's never, like, they always end, and it's like, you're expected to just be like, yeah, okay. I don't know how to explain this. But, like, it just
Like, you
ends.
know, like the psychological destruction of the character afterwards.
Just like the aftermath of everything. It's like,
Everything's good now.
or for instance, like the cops are dead, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
like
How are we
everything's
supposed to
holly
explain
jolly
this?
now, and like, yeah, like there's never there's always all this shit that happens in a horror movie, and when the external world is brought into it, like the cops, or, you know, like maybe not the boyfriend in this situation, but like the world's gonna want an explanation for that.
Yeah.
And
you're
that
gonna be like,
always
yeah,
bothers
crazy
me.
bitch.
It always bothers.
Yeah.
Like, like who's going to jail? It's like, are they just gonna be like, yeah, the mom killed the cops and killed herself? Because they're not gonna be able to be like, yeah, mom had a spirit attached to her. Then when she killed herself, the spirit killed the people. And then when mom killed herself, the spirit's dead now. We're good. She killed my dad a long time ago, and
Yeah.
Oh,
my
and she
new
killed
dad.
my little brother's dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just really like, all right, you're all fucking nuts. Like, I don't know. I always have an issue with horror movies when they end that way.
I agree.
I actually did think about, like, how the fuck are they going to explain the cops here?
Yeah.
But I have no more notes.
That was it for me.
I have one more beef.
Okay.
As we're sitting here talking about it more and more, like, why didn't you wrap yourself in, like, Christmas lights or something? You know, battery powered
That's a good
LED lights.
I was
like,
Yeah.
actually wondering if they were going to get Christmas lights in the basement.
like, well, because in Rebecca's apartment, she has, like, little
Little lights.
lights in her kitchen, and I was like, oh, is that supposed to, like, signify that she's still kind of, like, fucked up about it? But then they never, like, took them or did anything similar to that. And I'm like, okay, I guess maybe not. But I don't know. There's so many light sources these days. I just don't believe that you couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's it.
That's
just
it? All right.
The same beef over again.
I will get to the I'll get to the cast then. Rebecca was played by Teresa Palmer. I was like, I've never heard of her, and she's in a TV show called A Discovery of Witches.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know that. And then she's in Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh.
Which it was a decently big film, right? With Andrew Garfield?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then I Am Number 4.
Oh.
And I don't know how Little Martin's actor Gabriel Bateman is not, like, going crazy.
What?
Like, the kid has been, he did Lights Out.
Okay.
Like, obviously he did this movie. He did Child's Play with little Chucky.
Oh.
He was in Annabelle's. Like, in
Oh.
Annabelle or whatever. He's in something called Unhinged.
So he's just like the standard.
And then Playmobil the movie.
Oh.
Like, that's Playmobil the movie had to, like, you know, destroy your psyche, right?
I was gonna say, oh, he's just like the standard kid
Yeah.
from horror movies, and now he's starting to grow up, so they probably can't use him.
I don't know. But yeah, he's been in a lot of horror films, and I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting.
He's scarred for life.
Yeah. Brett is played by Alexander DePersia. He was a random dude in I Am Legend.
Okay.
He was in 3 episodes of Pose, and then 4 episodes of 90210.
Oh.
He's not done much, and I was like, oh, I liked him.
Yeah.
I thought he was Dario from... When I first saw him, I thought it was Dario from Game of Thrones.
They had like similar hair.
Yeah.
Similar.
They had a similar look, you know.
Similar vibe.
Yeah. Then Sophie is played by Maria Bello. She was in like 70 episodes of NCIS.
Look at her go.
30-something episodes in ER. She's in the movie Prisoners, The Fifth Wave, and then Grown Ups. She's got to be like somebody's wife in that movie.
Probably.
But our favorite crazy witch bitch, Diana, is played by the stunt coordinator, Alicia Vela Bailey. She did Anne Hathaway's character in Interstellar, like her stunts.
Nice.
She did Jennifer Lawrence's stunts in First Class, X-Men First Class. She did Gal Gadot's stunts in Wonder Woman.
Damn, look at her.
She did the stunts in Alita, Battle Angel. And then she was also in Avatar, like the blue one.
You go, girl.
Yeah, she's in a lot of big movies.
Yeah.
Paul is played by Billy Burke. He plays Charlie Swan in Twilight.
What? No.
I know. And I think I listed these ones in our Twilight episode. He's in 24 Zoo and Drive Angry.
Drive Angry.
With Nicolas Cage.
I'm pretty sure I did that in the last
You did.
episode too.
You did. All right, and then I'm going to do one random that I didn't catch. Was Teen Sophie. Like the psych ward Sophie.
Yeah, she looked familiar.
Because she is. She is played by Emily Allen Lind. She's in Doctor Sleep. She's Snakebite, little teenage girl.
Nice.
She plays young Amanda in Revenge.
Yep.
And then she's in Babysitter Killer Queen. The Babysitter Killer Queen. You gotta enunciate that you know. The director was and is David F. Sandberg. He did Shazam.
Okay.
That totally makes sense, right? He also did Annabelle Creation, this a sequel to one of the Annabelle movies. He got signed on the day after this movie premiered and did so well.
Wow.
They were like, "Yeah, do another horror movie for us." He was like a short film director.
Nice.
Most of his things are like 10 minutes long. He did one called Shadowed and Not Alone Here.
Okay.
Which sound like horror films to me.
Yeah.
But this movie was a short film first.
Oh.
And then it went on its festival run, and they were like, I think you could make this a full-length movie.
Oh, I wish it would have been a short film.
It is a short film.
I know. I'm curious to see.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the short film version because I wonder
Yeah.
if it would have been either too rushed in the explanation or if it would have been a little bit more oomph to it. Creepiness.
Yep. This movie won 3 awards and had 9 other nominations. I did not look them up because they were smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's pretty cool. Like, you don't see horror movies winning awards a lot. Let's be real.
Not usually, yeah. Because, again, I think it's a hard genre in general to break into and, like, just get shit done. But
yeah, like, the first horror I know of offhand that made it to the Oscars was, Get Out?
Yeah, but I'm sure there were ones before that, right?
Well, there's gotta be.
Did
but
Paranormal not win a bunch? I feel like Paranormal Activity, like, won a lot.
I thought it won a lot, but I thought it won a lot of, like, the smaller awards. Not like, I don't think it... Did it go to the Oscars? I don't know.
I have no idea. I just know it was very popular.
Yeah. The tagline for this was, and is, I keep saying was, I don't know why, but you were right to be afraid of the dark.
Yeah, that was in the trailer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I thought it was clever.
All right, so I have a couple more notes before I get into the critics and the budgets and whatnot. The director avoided using CGI as much as possible. He wanted, like, physical shit.
I like that.
I knew Tim would for sure, because we always talk about, like, in the older films, you're like, yes!
Yeah.
They have to do all these crazy stuff to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's nice. The house was used in Ouija, in the second Ouija movie.
Nice.
Huh. I'll never touch a Ouija board, by the way.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm.
And then this is the weirdest one in my last note. The basement of this house mysteriously caught fire a few months after this movie was filmed.
No.
Yeah.
Were all the mannequins still down there?
I don't know.
Because that's probably why.
Why did you tell me that?
I thought it was interesting.
No.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, I hate this.
Oh, shit.
That was a nice ass house, I gotta say.
Yes, Sam's not happy right now. Oh, shit.
It was mysterious. Nobody knows why. Come on, Sam.
Yeah, nobody knows why.
But the budget for this film was $4.9 million.
Really?
Damn.
Is that a lot or a little? I can't tell from
That
you.
seems
I
like a
mean,
lot.
for this movie, it seems like a lot, but at the same time, that's kind of how money is nowadays.
That's
It's just-
true.
Yeah, that's how money
It's just
is.
kind of shitty, but you're thinking about it. It's like,
You're like $5 million. Yeah, that's a pretty low budget.
Yeah.
You're like, $5 million's low.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that seems like a lot. I feel like, all right, don't challenge me to do this, but I feel like, well, okay, go to an indie movie that we may or may not have just watched, and they did a lot with the money they had. In this movie, I don't know.
What did they do?
Yeah, it's like, what did they do that was that
I
high?
feel like
Maybe it was
when
the
you,
actors.
Yeah, they say a lot of
Yeah.
the costs come from acting.
Yeah,
Like the
Yeah.
actors.
I could
but-
see that. Yeah.
If you get somebody like Warner Brothers to produce your film,
Oh yeah,
you're gonna get a much larger budget.
true.
That's true.
I didn't think about that.
That was
And
the
that's
only
where it
way.
comes
That's
from.
the only way I can get it.
Yeah.
And I guess technically they had a lot of locations. They had like the school. They had her.
Yeah, they
apartment,
did.
had
That's
the-
right.
So, I guess if you're not, I know nothing about this. I'm just spewing here.
I think
but
you're
I guess
correct,
if you have to like rent it or something, right?
Yeah.
Or even if you have to build it, that's 3 sets versus 1. So
Yep.
like, I don't know. Still, come on. That's a lot of money.
It's not. It's not when you look at how much it made.
Oh no.
It made $148.9 million.
Damn.
And most of that was in the first day. you
So
said?
basically,
No. They made $5 million in the first.
take
day.
out a loan, go to a big company like this, or go to a big company, take out a loan, release a movie that's going to go to the theaters, people go and see it, and you're going to make money no matter what. That's what I'm learning.
Boom, done.
Boom, done.
Wait till theaters are fully open.
Ah!
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to be able to get your money back at the first day, obviously.
Yeah. But it's kind of crazy though. Like you see, like we see so many busts.
Yeah, that's
Like-
true.
I was not expecting almost $150 million
Yeah.
No.
from a
Well,
horror film, especially because
Yeah.
those ones they have it rated R films typically they just have lower box office score.
Yeah.
box
Those
offices. I thought it was.
Oh.
It might not have been, but horror films in general they don't get as much love in the box office.
Yeah.
Right.
They get more love from the streamers, I guess.
PG-13, Sam, you were right.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, like, they didn't really cuss. And I don't think there were any boobies. So,
Nah.
I don't know what else gets an R rating, but I was like,
Right.
I don't think you can
Sometimes
just rate
blood
it
and
R
gore.
'cause it's
Blood and
scary.
gore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
that
wasn't that
does.
much.
No, I know. I was glad that they didn't just decide to rip people to shreds and
Right.
show it. Like, it's just excessive.
Yeah, I
especially for
agree.
this.
Like, when they did Billy Burke's death, like, you can hear him getting
You
ripped
hear him
to
fall.
shreds, and I actually kind of thought that was better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's, like, creepy.
You see some scratch, like you can tell there are scratches, but
Yeah,
like you can't see them.
right.
Yeah,
It's not.
I
Yeah.
like to know the sound process for this. Like, when
It's kind of
he-
silly.
Yeah, like, did they just slurp noodles around or something?
There's a video
there's-
on.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
No,
with
go
this.
ahead, Tim.
I was
You
just
can
gonna
say
say there's documentaries and stuff about this kind of thing, and there's one in particular where a guy just talks about it, and the people that do it are very passionate, but like
They love it.
the stuff that I don't know, the way they come up with sounds is pretty entertaining. Like I don't know, I can't think of it, but like for instance, like somebody like a head, like a skull, what they do for like people's heads getting crushed and stuff is like watermelons. Watermelons is how they like so stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, a lot of it is actually food. It's
Yeah.
very odd, but a lot of what they do is actually. Oh, it was for Mortal Kombat. The guy did
The new one.
yeah, the new one. He did sound stuff for that, and it's like he used a lot of fruits and stuff. Some of it was him actually chewing or something like that.
I
Like,
love that.
yeah, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, I just saw a video on them doing Ratatouille sound editing.
Mm-hmm.
And like a guy sat there with drumsticks and he had like a cymbal for one part, and like a lot of the chopping is him just scraping, like doing two drumsticks against like going down on the drumsticks.
Nice.
And like that's just him like the sound of chopping.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Huh.
Wild.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
That and commercial, like doing movie, like TV commercials for food. It's not real food.
Oh yeah, how
Oh,
they
no,
use
it's
glue
all-
and shit.
yeah, it's all fake.
But back to Lights Out.
Sorry.
Let's finish this up. The critics gave this a 76%.
Wow.
Audience gave it a 61%.
Okay.
IMDb with a 6.3 out of 10. And then Google with an 86%.
Wow.
So this is pretty highly rated. I mean, it failed Google, though, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, we already established that Google is Google.
Google's Google.
Google going to Google.
But who do we want to go first?
We can let Tim go first.
Yeah, that
He
sounds
picked
good.
it.
You picked it. Yeah, did you hate it, Tim? Did you think you hated it?
I didn't hate it, but it was just meh. Like, I kind of liked the idea of it, and I think the execution was really good, but it suffered from the same thing that majority of horror movies suffer from,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it just kind of is just there. So if you're looking for a real horror movie, I don't know that I can suggest it in that way, but if you're just curious and you just want to see something, I guess not straightforward, then I would say flip it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so you said flip it on?
Yeah.
He's flipping it on.
Ooh.
Because I think it's still worth a watch compared to like what you could find out there if you're just bored.
Yeah, I can
True.
see that. For me, it's a flip it off. I don't like horror films. I'm not gonna stop on. If I had cable, I would not be stopping. I'd be like pounding the button to keep going down or up or go away.
Yeah.
But I will say, I thought it was well executed. Like, I'm not stopping to watch this movie, but that's not to say somebody else couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the concept was an interesting one, and I liked that they brought her. She was still alive during the day,
Yeah.
Yes.
which I feel like a lot of movies leave out.
Mm-hmm.
But how about you, Sam?
It's tough because
On one hand.
Well, no, I just wonder if there's a such thing as like a popcorn flick that's a horror movie. Like, it's not really that great, but it entertains you enough. Like, I didn't necessarily want to look at my phone, so they caught my attention enough.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that it was good. It's kind of like Tim said. It's kind of like meh in the middle. And so, I don't know. I guess for me, it's a flip it off just because it enraged me at a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I definitely think there's much worse out there. And if there is like a type of horror popcorn flick section, that's kind of where I'd put it. Like,
Okay.
you want a horror movie.
It's like in
but
between an A and a B horror
Yeah,
movie.
it's not really going to be great, but it's kind of interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's in that space for me.
Okay. It's been a while since we haven't all agreed.
Yeah, well, that's why I like this category. Although I guess we would have all agreed that it was shit. But I think we can all agree it wasn't shit. It
wasn't. Just
it's
doesn't. It's not
different.
my cup of tea.
Right.
Yeah, and they could have done better with it.
It's not Moroccan mint.
Well, before we get to next week's spin, I
Forgot.
forgot part of my social media spiel, so I'm just gonna insert it in here.
It's all good.
We are gonna have a Flipper Flicks award ceremony because we are hitting our 1-year anniversary here soon. I think we talked about it in the previous episode, but essentially, like, we want to give out awards for the movies that we watched this past year, like which one's the greatest, which one's the worst, and then we'll be giving a giveaway. We'll be doing a giveaway for 2 baskets, like both the best movie and the worst movie. You'll get like our favorite candies and the movie itself. But the only way you can enter is if you rate us on Apple Podcasts. So make sure you go ahead and do that, and then you can just slide into our DMs on Instagram or Twitter with a screenshot of your review, and we will enter you into the contest.
Yeah.
Yeet. So if you don't have Instagram or Twitter, I guess
We
you
have an
can-
email.
Yeah, you can email us your review as well. Just a screen cap of it.
Flipperflix@gmail.com.
Yeah, we make it easy for you.
Yeah.
Or you can contact us on the website, I guess, too.
Oh, that's true. You could
There
do
is a
that.
contact form. But yeah, we're getting excited. 1 year is exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll give it to Adam so that we can do the spin for next week.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I'm up to bat again. Let's see if I get how did you miss that for the 3rd time in a row. Here we go. We're spinning, and it doesn't look like I'm gonna get that one again. Ooh! I got split the pod,
Uh-oh.
Oh.
which means I'm gonna try and make Tim like it, or Sam. One of Tim and Sam like it, and the other one hate it. So
Yeah.
I feel like that shouldn't be that hard for us, too, to be honest.
I feel like Tim has it the most difficult
Yeah.
because you and I are more similar in our likes.
Yeah.
Like-
We have some hard rules in the sand that we both don't like.
Yeah.
So I think you might have it easy. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Just remember that I've abandoned Diana, and have a good night.